As the sun sets over the bustling city, millions chase dreams of grandeur. Yet a profound silence begins to echo within the hearts of those reaching the top. Why is it that when we finally touch the heights of worldly success, we often find ourselves standing in a desolate desert, devoid of any real connection? We have climbed the mountain of ambition, only to realize that the peak is a cold and solitary place where the air is too thin to breathe. Have we climbed the wrong mountain? Or is the very nature of fame and fortune designed to isolate us from the simple warmth of human existence? Success is not always a destination. Sometimes it is a gilded cage, a prison built of our own desires and the expectations of a demanding world. The higher we rise, the further we move from the ground that once nurtured us, leaving behind the roots of our true, unadorned and authentic selves. At the zenith of achievement, the applause of the crowd often fails to drown out the whispering echo of an inner void that remains deeply unfulfilled. We spend our lives building monuments to our ego, only to find that these structures provide no shelter against the biting winds of existential loneliness. Is this the karma of success? To win the world, but lose the quiet intimacy of being known for who we are, rather than what we have. Every step up the social ladder seems to remove a layer of our humanity, replacing it with a polished mask that the world demands we wear. We strive for the peak, thinking it will bring us freedom, but the peak is where the wind is strongest, and there is nowhere left to go. The silence of a large office at night can be deafening, a reminder that titles and trophies cannot hold a conversation or offer a comforting touch. We are taught that more is better, but in the realm of the soul, accumulation often leads to a heavy burden that prevents us from soaring. This is the paradox of the elite, surrounded by the finest things money can buy, yet starving for a single moment of genuine, unmanufactured connection. We seek validation from strangers online, while the people sitting right next to us become ghosts in the machinery of our own relentless personal branding. If success does not bring peace, then it is merely a different form of struggle, a more expensive way to remain restless and deeply dissatisfied. The echoes of praise fade quickly, leaving us with the same person we were before the lights went up. Only now we are much more tired. We break ourselves into pieces to fit the mold of a successful person, forgetting that wholeness is the only true wealth we can ever possess. Is your success a bridge to others, or is it a wall you have built to keep the world out, only to find yourself trapped inside? The desert of ambition is vast and shimmering with mirages, promising water at every turn, but leaving the traveler parched and searching for something real. We toast to our victories with vintage wine, but the taste is often bitter when there is no one who truly knows our heart to share it. True success is not measured by what you have gathered, but by the space you have cleared within yourself for peace to finally take root. Behind every flash of the camera and every practiced smile lies the heavy burden of maintaining an image that the ego refuses to let go. We trade our authenticity for influence, believing that a firm handshake and a title can replace the need for soul-to-soul recognition and deep understanding. In contrast to the noise of fame, the quiet path of mindfulness offers a different kind of achievement, one found in the simple act of presence. Each stroke of the broom is a lesson in letting go, a reminder that life is found in the doing, not in the result or praise. The ego, a hungry, hungry ghost, never satisfied with the present, always looking for the next trophy to prove its own fragile and temporary existence. We try to hold on to our status as if it were solid ground, but like sand, it slips through our fingers the harder we try to grasp. True power lies not in controlling others or accumulating wealth, but in the absolute mastery of one's own mind and the cessation of all craving. We become lost in the theater of social expectations, playing roles that feel increasingly heavy until we can no longer remember who we actually are. When we stop trying to be someone, we finally have the space to be ourselves, a realization that is more valuable than any worldly recognition. The silence of the heart is the greatest luxury, a treasure that cannot be taxed, stolen, or lost in a sudden downturn of the market. Our achievements are like smoke, beautiful for a moment, but destined to dissolve into the vastness of time, leaving nothing but a fading scent. If you cannot let go of your success, then you do not own it. It owns you, binding you to a past that no longer exists. Walking the path of awareness requires us to leave our heavy shoes of pride at the door, entering life with a light and open heart. There is a profound freedom in being nobody, in having nothing to prove and no one to impress, just existing as part of nature. We spend years building the cage of our career, only to find that the door was never locked and the sky was always waiting for us. Connection is the antidote to the poison of fame, a connection to the earth, to the breath, and to the shared suffering of all beings. The world offers shiny toys to keep us distracted from the quiet truth that we are already whole, just as we are, without any additions. Happiness is found in the quality of our attention, not the quantity of our possessions. A single cup of tea can contain the universe. When the noise of ambition stops, the music of existence begins. A melody that has been playing all along, just waiting for our silence. To see clearly is to see that the seeker and the sought are one, and that the summit we were chasing was always within us. We cross the bridge from doing to being, leaving behind the frantic pace of the world, to enter the timeless flow of the present. Everything is temporary. The breath we take, the fame we earn, and the body we inhabit. Why then do we cling so tightly to ghosts? The path to peace is not a ladder to be climbed, but a trail to be walked with humility, one mindful step at a single time. There are those who are so poor that all they have is money, living in vast spaces that echo with the sound of their own isolation. Is a king truly a king if he sits alone in a palace of ice, where every victory feels like a cold weight upon his weary soul? We seek external solutions for internal problems, buying things to fill a hole that can only be mended by the soft thread of inner peace. True wealth is found in the richness of the heart, in the ability to find joy in a crust of bread shared with a loved one. The karma of success is the emptiness that follows when we realize that objects, no matter how sacred, cannot provide the enlightenment we truly seek. We dress our bodies in the finest silks, but leave our spirits naked and cold, shivering in the shadows of our own neglected inner world. Consumption is a bottomless pit. The more we have, the more we fear losing, and the more we need to maintain the illusion of being enough. The price of our ambition is often our time, the only currency that truly matters, and the only one we can never, ever earn back. One world lives in the future of more, while the other lives in the present of enough. Which one truly holds the key to freedom? A soft bed cannot guarantee a quiet mind, and a high-status life cannot protect you from the deep, nocturnal whispers of your own existential dread. The simplest pleasures are the most profound because they require nothing from us but our presence and our gratitude for the earth's quiet bounty. Nature does not strive, yet it achieves everything. It does not seek praise, yet it inspires awe in every heart that truly learns to see. Knowledge of the world can make you successful, but knowledge of the self is the only thing that can ever make you truly, deeply free. We lose our way when we forget the simplicity of a child's heart, a heart that values a moment of play over a mountain of gold. Success is not having what you want, but wanting what you have. A shift in perspective that turns a desert into a lush and thriving garden. We sign away our lives in pieces, believing that each contract brings us closer to a peace that always seems to be just one more deal away. The modern world is a river of constant motion, but wisdom is the ability to stand on the bank and remain still while everything else flows. In the garden of the soul, we must rake away the debris of desire to reveal the solid, unmoving stones of our own inner, eternal truth. We are the authors of our own suffering, writing scripts of ambition that leave no room for the quiet, unscripted beauty of a life simply lived. The ocean does not care for your titles, and the moon does not recognize your net worth. In the eyes of the infinite, we are equal. Have you become the person your younger self would be proud of? Or have you traded your dreams for a more socially acceptable form of success? Let your life be like water, finding the lowest places and nourishing everything it touches, without ever seeking to be higher than it already is. Solitude is not a punishment for being at the top. It is an invitation to return to the root of your being, far from the crowd. When the world falls away, you are left with the only thing that was ever truly yours, your awareness clear and vast as the morning sky. In the forest of silence, the voices of others fade, allowing your own inner wisdom to finally be heard above the constant static of daily life. There is a sacredness in being alone that the busy world fears, for in solitude we discover that we were never actually separate from the whole. The flower does not bloom to be seen. It blooms because it is its nature to do so, regardless of whether anyone is there to applaud. When you no longer need the world's approval, you become the master of your own joy, a joy that is independent of any external circumstance. The journey inward is the most difficult climb you will ever take, but it is the only one that leads to a view that never fades. Your breath is the bridge between the world and the soul, a constant reminder that you are alive and connected to the rhythm of the universe. Nature's wealth is everywhere, free for anyone with the eyes to see and the heart to appreciate the intricate beauty of the very small. To be free of the image of yourself is the ultimate liberation, a release from the constant work of maintaining a persona for the world. The higher you go, the more you must leave behind, until you are as light as a feather, floating on the winds of your own grace. Touch the world lightly, and it will not bind you. Love the world deeply, and it will not fail to show you its hidden, sacred heart. A simple life is not a small life. It is a life that has been decluttered to make room for the things that truly matter most. Fire consumes everything, but leaves only warmth and light. Let your ego be the fuel for the fire of your own spiritual awakening and growth. In the face of the cosmos, our triumphs are microscopic, yet our ability to witness this grandeur is a miracle beyond any worldly measure or price. Drink from the source of your own being, and you will never be thirsty again for the shallow praise or the fleeting rewards of the marketplace. Wisdom is the ability to see in the dark, to find the light within, when the world around you seems cold, empty, and profoundly indifferent. Surrender is not defeat. It is the act of letting go of the struggle to be someone else, so that you can finally be who you are. Our legacy is not what we leave behind in stone or steel. but the kindness we have sown in the hearts of those we have touched. Patience is the currency of the soul. It allows us to wait for the storm of ambition to pass, so that the truth can emerge clearly. At the edge of our ego, a vast horizon opens up, a space where I and thou dissolve into the one, eternal ocean of pure consciousness. You are the sky, not the clouds. You are the ocean, not the waves. Remember your true nature, and the world can never hurt you again. The journey into the self is the only one worth taking, for it is the only path that leads to a home that can never be lost. Imagine a candle that is terrified of the wind, fearing that its light will be extinguished, and its life will come to a sudden end. This is the state of the successful person who clings to their status, always fearing the winds of change and the inevitable arrival of the unknown. But what if the candle realizes that it is not the wax or the wick, but the light itself, which is never truly born and never dies? When we shift our identity from the form to the essence, the winds of life no longer threaten us. They only help our light to dance. The purpose of light is to be shared, to illuminate the darkness for others, and in the giving, the light is never diminished, but only multiplied. Your success is a candle. If you hide it behind a glass, it will eventually burn out from a lack of air and a lack of purpose. If you use your success to light the way for others, you create a world that is brighter for everyone, including yourself and those you love. Loneliness disappears when we become a source of light for others, for in the act of giving, we realize we are part of something much greater. The form is temporary, but the light is eternal. Do not mourn the melting wax of your life, but celebrate the light you have shared. This is the true alchemy of success, turning the lead of ego into the gold of service, and the isolation of status into the joy of connection. Release your attachments like a lantern into the night. Let them go so that your spirit can rise and find its place among the stars. There is no loss in letting go of what was never truly yours. There is only the gain of a lightness you have never known before. When we let go together, we create a beauty that no single person could ever achieve alone, a testament to the power of our shared humanity. The heart that is full of gratitude has no room for fear, and the mind that is still has no need for the world's noisy validation. Be like the moon, reflecting the light of the sun without trying to be the sun itself. A cool and steady presence in the dark night. You are coming home to yourself, to the place where you are already enough, where you are loved not for what you do, but for who you are. Life is a series of small, quiet miracles. If we are too busy chasing the big ones, we will miss the very things that sustain us. Nurture the life that is right in front of you, and you will find that the universe in turn nurtures the life that is within you. Every day is a chance to start again, to climb a different kind of mountain, one whose peak is measured in peace rather than in power. Rest in the center of your own being, and you will see that the world moves around you without ever being able to knock you off balance. When the mind is still, it reflects the truth of the world without distortion, allowing us to see the beauty that was always there, hidden. Be in the world but not of it. Move with the current of life without ever becoming lost in the noise and the frantic, heavy spray. Freedom is the ability to fly without the weight of expectation, to move where the spirit leads without the need for a map or a destination. Success is the scent of a flower, the warmth of the sun, and the quiet knowledge that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The bridge to the divine is built with the stones of the ordinary. Find the sacred in the mundane, and you will never be alone again. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, exactly as you are. Returning to the world does not mean losing your peace. It means carrying that peace with you into the heart of the noisy, busy city. When you see the world through the eyes of the soul, there are no strangers, only brothers and sisters sharing the same long human journey. True success is the ability to use your strength to lift others, to be a pillar of support in a world that often feels fragile. The city is no longer a hoary desert of neon, but a vibrant tapestry of lives, each one a precious thread in the great universal design. Connection is the only thing that survives the passage of time. The love we give and the kindness we share are our only true possessions. Balance is found in the intersection of the modern and the eternal, in the ability to thrive in the world while remaining rooted in spirit. When you no longer need anything from the world gives you everything. It offers its beauty and its mystery to you without reservation. Enjoy the simple things as if they were the most luxurious. For, in the eyes of the awakened, a cup of coffee is a miracle. There is nowhere to get to and nothing to become. You are already at the destination, and you are already the person you were seeking. The ornaments of the ego are fading, replaced by the enduring beauty of the natural world and the quiet radiance of a soul at peace. Happiness is a state of being, not a result of doing. It is the natural frequency of a heart that has finally learned to let go. When you lose the fear of losing, you gain the world. Nothing can touch a person who has found their home within their own heart. The horizon is not a boundary, but an invitation. It reminds us that there is always more to see, more to love, and more to be. Create a space in your life for silence, for it is in the silence that the truth is born and the soul finds its own voice. The most powerful word in any language is enough. It is the secret key that unlocks the door to a life of true and lasting freedom. We are all walking each other home. Remember this. And every interaction becomes a chance to practice kindness and to express our shared, deep love. The peak of success is not a place where you look down on others, but a place where you look out and see everyone as yourself. Your peace is a ripple that touches the world. When you are at peace, the entire universe becomes a little more peaceful because of your presence. Pass on the wisdom of the heart to the next generation, so they may climb mountains of their own making with a much lighter and wiser step. We are all one, living on a tiny island in a sea of stars. Our differences are small, and our shared humanity is the only true reality. Listen to the music of existence. It is playing for you, always, in every breath you take, and in every heartbeat that keeps you alive. Ground yourself in the reality of the present moment, and the illusions of the mind will lose their power to pull you into the past. Turn your face towards the light, and the shadows will always fall behind you. Stay focused on the good, the true, and the beautiful in life. Life is a bridge between two mysteries. Walk it with grace, with wonder, and with a heart that is open to everything that comes your way. Wake up to the truth of who you are, not a name or a title, but the infinite awareness in which the entire world is born. Success is the ability to love and be loved. Everything else is just a distraction from the only thing that will matter at the very end. Nature is the greatest teacher of success. It achieves its purpose without any effort, simply by being what it was always intended and destined to be. Release your desire to control the world, and the world will reveal its own perfect order and beauty to you, in ways you never imagined. The city is reborn every morning, just as you are. Every breath is a new beginning. a fresh chance to live a life of true and deep purpose. Be the stillness in the center of the storm. Be the peace in the middle of the noise. Be the light in the center of the dark. Gratitude is the final stage of success. It is the realization that everything you have and everything you are is a gift from the infinite source. Stand alone, not in isolation, but in the strength of your own truth. A tree that is rooted deeply does not fear the strongest winds of life. Happiness is not in the number of people who know your name, but in the depth of the peace you feel when you are alone. You are enough, you have enough, and you are already home. Let go of the struggle. And finally, simply and beautifully,